said it's a good little kickback smoking type of thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a comedy, but
yeah, you told me you had a role for me in this movie too, man. I'm kind of upset about that, but we'll talk about that later.
See, I forgot I even said that. Sometimes,
shit happens. I mean, stuff happens.
You stop cussing on here?
I tried.
Oh, that not what?
I tried.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I tried to do something.
Say what you want to say. Go ahead.
How I get around that.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Well, let's just cut to it. Welcome to yet another episode. SquadKast TV. What's happening?
SquadKast TV. What's going on?
Welcome. Like, share, subscribe, all that.
All that good stuff.
You know the rules. This is YouTube.
Gang and everybody.
You know how it works.
Godmama. Shout out
Respect
you.
the algorithm.
Brother Black. Shout out you.
Shout out everybody, right?
Yeah.
We got guests today. Welcome, Midwest Matthew. The man, the mystery, behind the magic.
Yes,
Been messing with this brother for a minute now, if it hasn't been obvious.
Yes.
From one building to the next, one adventure to the next, and he's here to join talk about his latest project, which we'll get into here shortly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Other than that, welcome, gentlemen. How we doing today?
I'm good. I'm glad to be on the show for the first time. I believe this is the first time I've been on.
I think we were on back when we first kicked
me
off
and Brother Black, and we was talking about the importance of insurance. I definitely appreciated that knowledge.
Right, so it's been a minute.
So second time.
Right, returning guest.
Yeah, yeah.
You might be the most returned guest.
Him and
two
Tiano.
times. Right.
Him and Tiano.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. What's going on, brother? How's the last week going? What's been happening with you?
I'm going, you know what I'm saying?
You're staying out of trouble?
Staying out of trouble, working and all that.
I don't believe you the way you said
that. They're about to get ready to send us back into the building on some hybrid shit.
Uh-oh.
So, I'm cool on that, I've been in the cave for long enough, you know what I'm saying?
Change, man. It's going to happen, huh?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Right. I'm from home permanently still, so I'm good to go.
That's dope.
So that's great. To a point. I wouldn't mind though if we had to go back to office. I
don't care no more at this point.
Right now it's about saving
It is
gas.
what it is, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. It ain't really saving no more.
Right.
Did it take you a while to transition to that? Because my old job, it was during COVID that I went from traveling all over the state or whatever because I was an auditor to just being indoors, and I couldn't talk to the client except for digitally. They had to send me all my paperwork. Was it like that for you? Was it?
No.
For me, I quit that job. So I was like, I can't do this. I'm working till 10 o'clock at night. I
don't talk to people. You know what I'm saying? I could make calls, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
that's if I choose to. You know what I'm saying? Most of my shit is email, Skype, Microsoft Teams. You know what I'm saying?
Right, it was instant. I mean, I went from working 8-hour days to 2.5-hour days instantly from home. Just instantly figured out how to make it the most efficient thing I've ever done.
That's a fucking fact.
Right?
Because, bro,
something like that.
I mastered the art of working hard and hardly working. I mastered it. I start out my day, because I start out mad early. And I make sure I hit my quota, if not exceed. And then after that, it's just whatever I want to do. I might go work out, might go to the store, you know what I'm saying, do stuff around the house, whatever the case may be. Come back, computer's still lit. All right, let's do some more stuff. You know what I'm saying? Go outside, cut my grass, come back, no messages, no emails.
I tried that, and that's where I ran into a problem, because with my position, I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
all that I understood was, okay, normally you'll work this amount of time, but now you have a little bit of flex time. So if you want to go to the store, run an errand real quick for 2 hours, you can do that, and then you just put that 2 hours on the end of your shift. So then it goes from me leaving for 2 hours to now I'm leaving for 4 hours.
And a whole day.
I got to work from 8 to midnight, and then get back up by 7.
You ain't clock on in? No, it's good. I'm just going to stay late.
I don't do that, bro. Everything's on the clock, on the company.
Right, my company switched up how we work now. I got more work than ever, so they really caught on to how efficient working from home was. So they're taking advantage of that. So touche. Corporate America, touche to you.
We definitely got a shitload of work coming in too all of a sudden. So, yeah, but I still do what I do.
Right. So I love working from home, man.
Yeah. Working from home, you know what I'm saying? But outside of everything's been good, man. Hope y'all brothers been good.
Oh yeah, but I just got back from a camp trip, man.
I know that, man.
Star Rock State Park, Illinois, man.
Ooh.
Nice little spot, man.
Yeah.
Canyons and cliffs and waterfall. Well, they're frozen, but frozen waterfalls. That's
Did you have your Daniel Boone hat on?
No, man, I just had this little dirty ass Walmart hat that blocks the wind. That's all. Not
Did you take the dog with you?
But
the dog was with you?
No, I didn't take the dog. Just
what?
me. Nah, man. My dog is a great dog. I love the dog. She's so loving. She's so kind.
Yeah.
She's terrible outside.
Stop it.
She's terrible outside. She's not a good adventure dog like that. You know? And I don't have 3 hours to wear her ass down every time I want to do anything. So, you know.
You're silly, bro.
So, you know, I'll tell you, in the winter season, it ain't worth it. When it's warmer and I got to gear up with all the clothes and all that shit and deal with a dog, I'll bring her back out.
Okay. But were you the only one out there?
Yeah, just me. Well, there was like 3 other people camping in the campsite I was at, but just me.
Well, yeah, I'm at the campsite.
Stove, right.
Okay.
After doing it, no showers though.
No showers.
Well, they had a shower, but it was gross.
Yeah.
So I didn't take a bath for 2 days. All right.
It'd be like that. So you paint one with nature. It'd be like that.
You know, it's just me. It's just me. Right. Yeah. I accidentally bought an extra air mattress. The one I had, it kept going flat, and I couldn't figure out. I thought I had a hole in it.
Yeah.
So I went and bought a new one, and I inflated that one, but it kept going flat too, and I didn't take into mind science. That being, I was pumping in this hot air from my hot tent and into my mattress, which inflated it just fine, but then it's sitting on top of the snow, right? That's underneath the tarp, so it just cools the air down and just. Yeah. Now I don't know how many times I would have had to fill it up, but at a point I said, well, what if all of a sudden the ground heated up and I'm sitting on this thing and this just swells back up and blows up on me. I just didn't want some cartoon type scenario happening in my tent, so I just dealt with it, you know. So. Other than that,
sound like you was really roughing it out.
Right, yeah, basically with my air mattress, right. Yeah, you see, my shot I had a carpet.
I did see
a fan,
I did see that.
Multiple tables, chairs.
Right. Was you eating good out there?
Oh yeah, you know.
I was thinking of. I was like, what type
chili,
of food?
And I had some of the wife's chili actually. Took some chicken with me.
Okay.
What else?
Also, you didn't make nothing on the scene. You took with.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, some stuff I cook. You know, I made the chicken and whatnot. You know, so I grilled all my meats.
Oh, okay.
So but the chili, the wife made the chili. You know, keep it in the freezer. It's a good warm up food stuff.
Yeah, especially at night. Right. Especially at night.
Right.
That's crazy. Well, shout out to you, man. Give me some love on that. My man getting this Bear Grizzly on out there.
We back out there in April. Look for me. Okay? Somewhere.
Oh, speaking of April, I'm glad you said that. I got a battle coming up.
That's what's up.
I think I saw you post about that.
Yeah.
What's that gonna be?
I got a call from Beasley, and I'm been requested. So I'm back on Get You Some. This will be my first time battling here in the city in probably about 5 or 6 years.
Damn.
Like I've been telling people all my battles been on the road. Like people really don't understand that. My last battle was like 5 or 6 years ago in the city.
Damn.
And where's that gonna be at?
I don't know the venue yet because I just got the call today.
Okay.
But it's gonna be a venue where people can go and all that other good stuff. I think it might be Lefties because he was talking about it. But don't quote me. When the flyer drop, I'm gonna just shred that joint. You know?
Got to show your Vax card. Is that how that works at battles?
I don't know about that. Every battle rap event I went to.
Man, every time I see a battle rap where someone has a mask on, I just want to start smacking people. Like, bro, everyone's in here spitting on one another. Like that mask ain't doing nothing for nobody. I mean, nothing with that shit. It's like that, like the homeboy in Harlem Nights shooting that little gun. Like that shit just like, go with that little shit.
Hey man, crazy, it be the little ones that get you, man. You get hit with a little 22, that little bullet floating everywhere. You never know where that joint might be.
Speaking of little ones, let's make a little quick transition here and talk about the war.
Oh my God. It's not a little one. It's not
the biggest current tragedy happening in the world, I guess, according to the news. So, Ukraine's popping off. Putin lost his goddamn mind. The world's responding in like kind. So, don't they have that doomsday clock? You guys heard of this?
Yeah, I heard of it.
Right. I really don't understand the formula on it. It's always 1 to 3 minutes from doomsday every time. So I don't understand that. So right now, it's got to be a habit. I'm always like, it just keep clicking like, So
yeah.
But one thing that interesting, I don't know, it's unexpected, but certainly interesting that's happening that you pointed out, brother, was how Ukrainians appear to be treating local black residents, and I mean, whether they're maybe they are there on visas or some shit, but even if they're students, whatever the case may be, multiple videos of black people being denied the ability to lead a country of their own free will. So I'm not really sure what that's about, other than typical racist European bullshit, I guess. But
I don't, for me, first of all, shout out to all the people in Ukraine. I hope y'all, you know what I'm saying, I know y'all going through it and all that shit. So, you know what I'm saying, we with y'all on that. You know, keep fighting and all that, because Putin has lost his mind. But, you know, from everything that I've seen, you know, these brothers over there are mostly students. And they're trying to leave. And the fact that I've seen these videos where they're trying to board the trains, get on the buses, you know what I'm saying, and they're being told they can't, you know what I'm saying, and then I've seen other videos and interviews where they said they've been standing in line for like 6 days, 3-4 days, trying to cross the border to get into Poland and all this other, you know, these other places. I mean, it's crazy, and they have it to where if you're not a Ukrainian, you're on this line. If you're Ukrainian, you're over here. And these people who are, there are, you know, African American, Africans from that continent over there in that line, along with people from Saudi Arabia in that line, and they've been waiting there for days, and it ain't going nowhere. Like, and it's cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got no food, no nothing, and the treatment is just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe it. Like, it's just, like, I know they want women and children first. I get that. But obviously you got to take into account of the people who's not from there.
Plus all women and children are women and children, you know, so there's not really space for white or black women and children.
There's black women in those videos.
Right, yeah. You know? Right, and the ones, especially where the women are being forcibly removed.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, by men, that shit is
yelling at them, grabbing them, taking their luggage and all this other stuff. Right. I mean, it's gross.
It's just crazy to see that space made for such a terrible thing in the midst of another terrible thing. It's just crazy how that shit happens, man.
It's terrible, man. The whole thing is, man, just the man that lost his mind in Russia, man. Like, they talking about his mental health and how he's kind of ostracized himself away from his top officials. Talking about how he's undressed his top officials in front of people when, you know, typically you wouldn't do that type of stuff. Like, it's just, they're just talking about his overall mental health. Like, these aren't things that you would do, you know what I'm saying? And it's, I don't know, man, it's crazy. I hope that shit don't manifest its way over here. On a big scale, because they've been threatening this nuclear stuff. They got nuclear weapons. We got nuclear weapons.
And that's a in-game scenario. Nobody wins there.
Nobody wins.
I don't care what's going on in Ukraine, just the ideal of a nuclear war. I mean, that's just a no-go. I don't care what solutions you're throwing under the table. If it ends on what we might have to shoot a nuke, then that's not the solution. I don't care what's going on, man. You know, as bad as it is. I would feel the same if it was happening right here. Like, what? Let them kill us. Fuck the nukes. It don't even make sense. You want the whole world? The whole world. That's the shit we're on? What do they call that? MAD? Mutually assured destruction? Like that just the whole system set up to implode on itself and kill everybody out of sheer spite.
Sheer spite.
Like, now we can't even stand the idea of
his whole supposed end goal was to take out the fascist neo-Nazis in a predominantly Jewish country. You know, that's crazy.
I mean, and the president is Jewish, right? So obviously, if there's anyone spearheading such an effort in the country, it would be the president of that country. So, and obviously ridiculous. I mean, that's the whole pretense, is that he's going on some sort of fucked up ass peacekeeping mission. But that's obviously not what's happening here, you know. Now he's ostracizing himself from the whole world, well, his whole country. And you know, that's another tragedy unfolding. Even the Russian people, man, none of them motherfuckers wanted this shit. They're over there getting strangled, getting cut off from the rest of the world because of this crazy shit this guy's doing.
Couple key points that I learned that I didn't know. You only have to be in the Russian army for 2 years. So a lot of these guys over there super young, don't know what the hell they're doing, don't know what's going on.
Or
I don't know how they do it, but I guess you know how when you enlist over here, you do 4 years.
Just do 2.
I
see. I didn't know.
You know what I'm saying? So they ain't really skilled like that? What can you gain in 2 years to make you super elite and send you out here, or maybe a year, however long you went there before he says, okay, we need you. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's clear, and Russia obviously is unprepared for everything that's happening as well. They're just sacrificing soldiers needlessly. It's just terrible, man. Yeah. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, well, you know, no more war.
Peace.
And you guys see the car get run over by the tank?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Real crazy.
I don't know. That was just kind of weird. It was like, why? You don't even know who's in the car,
right?
Or whatever.
Just that type of violence, man. That's that shit. I mean, right. I mean, between that and the racist shit, I mean, just look what war brings out of people, you know? Mm-hmm. And some sense of desperateness. This is what this shit leads you to do.
I know black people was everywhere. Like, we everywhere. But I didn't think it was that many in Ukraine.
I'll give you that. Those videos are surprising.
I did not think it was that many over there. And I was just like shocked, like, whoa.
Some tourists, I would imagine, but yeah, I did not.
I ain't about to say, let's go on vacation. Let's go to Ukraine.
Maybe that's a nod to the educational institutions of Ukraine. You know, they're getting enough people are traveling abroad to visit them. But yeah, that did surprise me. That was.
I think it was something with the Congo or Congolese or something. I saw something with like it said something about the prime minister of the Congo or someplace in Africa. I know it began with the C. But anyway, so he got killed. Like this the other day, they said it was him and 2 other officials. So I don't know if maybe there's some type of partnership with, like, for example, let's say there's a school in the Congo, a university, like Iowa State. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of get streamlined to go to the Ukraine. Like if you can transfer from here and go over there. Right. So maybe this has some type of partnership.
I see.
Where like a bunch of those kids got sent over. Right. I just saw an article about it, but I didn't read all the way into it. But yeah.
So yeah, no, very, very surprised. I mean, that's always surprising though. Sometimes you just be like, "Whoa, there's a bunch of black people here." Okay, didn't see that coming.
I did not see that coming. I was shocked. Shout out to
Right. So no more war. If anything, camping. Go camping, everybody. Find some chill, please.
I wonder how much they target that race though. So like the Russians, I wonder if they really are going to be targeting black people. You know, like if
the videos are an indication. I would say, like, what a waste of resources. There's just not enough black people there to target. Like, you would just an overwhelming amount of resources to find all the black people in Ukraine. Like, golly, there's just not that many here.
Wasting bullets.
Right. So I don't think. Right. If anything, they're probably to some odds a little bit safer in a general face-to-face scenario in that war, but. You know, when bombs are raining down, everybody's fair.
Oh yeah, when they're bombing, they're about to go. Yeah,
they're bombing. They're doing everything. Yeah, they like 2,000 civilians have lost their. So reportedly, 2,000 Ukrainian civilians have lost their lives. Children, you know what I'm saying? Like people of prominent positions. You know, they didn't bomb big antennas connected to news stations and stuff like that. Like it's crazy, man. Like he's just.
Yeah, I'm learning quite a bit on here.
I
just saw a few videos and I was like,
oh man, it's crazy.
Okay. But I didn't know they were bombing.
Well, I have to be in tune because it's fucking up the market, and you know, and I'm an investor. Every day I'm looking at stuff and I'm watching stocks, certain companies suffering,
everything's running gas. When
suffering.
Joe Biden just did the State of the Union,
which was
and he's talking about how he's going to release 60 million barrels of oil, which as a non-knowing what that fucking actually means in weight guy, that don't even sound like enough. That sounds like
he's gonna give that
60 million barrels of oil. That sounds like enough for the weekend. That sounds like what we used to get down to the beach in America.
Trying to deal with the inflation.
Right, but what was the response? Oil prices went up immediately after he said that.
So we have a lot of import of oil from them?
No.
Well, we do a lot of importing of oil, for sure. We do here in the United States, but we have our own strategic reserves.
Right.
So that we can, let's say the world just cut us off. We got something to, keep us going and fight back if we got to get back to the oil. Otherwise, we got our own deposits around here, but the ideal being that if there is a shortage or prices go high, you can release some of our own gas to the people at in theory it would make the price go down. But the government ain't setting the price of gas. That's not how it works. They can give you all the gas they want, but if you have to buy that gas through the gas infrastructure, you're paying whatever the fuck that gallon that price per gallon is gonna be.
Yeah. So, whatever the barrel barrel price is, just know
In
right?
Saudi Arabia or one of those countries, they've asked multiple times since this shit started to produce more oil because of the price of oil, and they're like, nah. They can relieve the world's issue almost, and they're like, nah. We'd rather just make all this fucking money off y'all. And that's exactly what they're doing. It's a big money grab in the middle of the world about ready to end, which doesn't make sense. If you were about ready to die, are you gonna be like, well, I'll sell you 2 for 10, 3 for 30? I mean, who's out here haggling prices? Like this shit's crazy. So I have to get too. Okay,
he said who's haggling prices.
Right? Come on, man. What about them? Come on, man.
Yeah, you never
just
know,
shoot you
man.
and take it.
You never know. The barter system. Y'all was talking about it. The barter system might come back in full effect. You know what I'm saying?
What you gotta do.
Hey, what you say? I got these tires. You got this first code. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this is a prime example of like, what would you do in that situation? Like you said, what if it was over here instead of over there? So, I mean,
well, definitely I'm
like,
packing up the whips. Well, just kind of depends. It just, the city's getting bombed out. There's really not a lot you can do in the middle of that other than duck and cover. So that's happening. We are just the typical bombed out, victims in those scenarios. However, that works out for us individually. But if the world's just falling to shit, right? And food and water is a tough thing to come by. Fuck a job, because what jobs don't mean nothing no more. Like,
exactly.
Ain't no one coming to take my house over their bodies. So that's just it's all about
foreclosure. What?
Shit. Like securing, weapons to protect yourself, and getting together with people you trust, and that's it. Caravanning everywhere you go. Always keeping that thing on you and a bag of rice for bargaining. All right?
I just think it's funny, like in corporate America, there's still going to be like those 5 or 10 people that are still going to try to go to work and until they really start realizing all right,
this ain't working, man.
We gotta pack
the cafeteria's been on fire for 3 days, man. I'm getting out of here, man.
That direct deposit still ain't hit.
My manager still hasn't come into work for the last 2 weeks, so
there's gonna be, because that's the routine. That's how we've been trained, and you break that normal overnight like a world do. I don't know how we'll handle.
They're gonna be optimistic, and then they're gonna start boarding the windows and eating all the vending machine snacks. They're like, I gotta do some other shit.
Be like, well, let's segue into something more enlightening.
Before we do that, let's take a quick commercial break.
Okay, we'll do that.
Look, every man has his flaws, and some men lean hard into those, regardless of the good they're doing. Okay.
I'm not debating that. I'm just saying at that time, whatever they were trying to do, I'm pretty sure he probably did the best he could at that time, even though he had another agenda. You know what I'm saying? Right. Whatever the case may be.
Back from commercial break.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the reason we're here today.
Yeah.
Our guest.
Got this nice little movie in my hand.
So brothers, so please, you've got a movie out, your first feature film, and this is amazing. Just off top, just so that's dope. Tell us a little bit about it, please.
All right, so real quick, let's see. Let me give you like a little bit of the rundown of the film, and then I guess I'll tell you the availability of it, etc., etc. Okay. So. A lot of people talk about the feminization, and when I look that word up, I don't find that word in the dictionary.
Clearly, right.
Anyway, urban. A feminization, or the whatever, making men more feminine. So whenever I tell people about this movie, because a lot of people, I might be more into the conscious community or whatever, but then other people aren't. So I might talk about the black man specifically getting effeminized and just being made feminine, and I also want to relate it to other things for people that don't believe that, and et cetera, et cetera. So so the 3 examples I normally give, you could talk about the 70s, 60s generation, maybe baby boomers. They'll talk about the millennials and say, we used to have to go to work and do all this type of stuff. These new millennials, they're like little girls to us, whatever. Hip hop, you look at that, like the 90s, they wear baggier clothes and all that type of stuff. And it doesn't even have to be just hip hop, it would be rock people. And then the clothes got tighter. They start wearing skinnier jeans, start painting their nails, etc., etc. So they'll say those people act feminine. And then you talk about, like in the black community, we might say, like Tariq Nasheed, if you know him, he came out with a documentary called Buck Breaking. So we can take it back to even slave times. When they'll say, like, they'll take the biggest slave, the toughest slave, whatever, and
you know what they do?
Et cetera, et cetera.
They take the biggest, strongest in front of everybody, humiliate them to I don't even want to say it, to show this is what, you know what I'm saying, and it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And that could still be going on today, just more symbolically. So with that, I think Terry Crews had something where he said something or he did something, but like they might do a little humiliation.
Mm-hmm.
They might do a little humiliation type thing, which some people would call a ritual. You know, in front of everybody in the public, they'll do it to a celebrity, whoever that may be. Kevin Hart, make him wear a dress, you know, things like that. And so this is a little oxymoronic because this is my first movie and I've had some acting experience, and now I ended up playing the main character, so I act feminine in the movie to get the point across. So it's like, okay, we're talking about black men acting feminine on movies, and then here I am having to act feminine. But either way, it's
I know
a
that
comedy.
probably was tough for you.
Yes, it was. It was a little tough. But
I'm gonna watch this and say this man deserves an Emmy.
You know, but at the same time, you know, I'm into comedy, so I don't really mind being the butt of a joke sometimes, you know. So I act a little bit feminine in this movie, and I just depict some of the things that I just talked about. And essentially, I'm the leader of a Black Lives Matter type of group, I guess you would call it. My name's Anthony, and that's the revolutionary part. And so they want to take me down and or my character, they want to take my character down and so make him feminine, and that's where this guy comes in, underneath the feminine side. So you see the symbology there, then my character has to figure out who did this to him and how does he overcome this problem.
He looks like this fictional guy called Jesus with glasses on, to be real. That's just me, but you know.
Yes. And it can go deeper than that, but I'll let you guys get your own interpretation of that visual.
Yes.
And some of the stuff I didn't even really like playing like that. So the character that plays this, he's actually a local musician. So I just want to put that out there. It's not like I chose him. Like I need you to look like this. So
right.
You know what I mean? I didn't target him. So it just worked out that way.
Go through, like, how long does it take to shoot a movie? Like, and I'm talking about from the idea to I'm pretty sure you like sketched it out and wrote it out. Got an idea of the characters, or I want to get this person. Like, did this just do like a Friday and it happened in a week? You know what I'm saying? Or did this take like, you know, some months or, you know, like,
what's the timeline like? So this actually came up with the idea. This was 2018. Okay. End of 2018, I came up with the idea. A girl I was talking to at the time actually prompted me or pushed me a little bit, like, yeah, you should do it, whatever. So 2019, as they know, I ended up going into business for myself and started to rent a space because I'm like, I want a space that I can rehearse, but I don't really want like restrictions where I gotta contact this person, whatever. And from that idea, I'm like, well, I gotta still make money. So ended up getting some podcasting equipment, and I have a background in videography, photography, so I started doing events out of the space, music and podcasting. So we all kind of learned together the whole podcasting process, and here we are today. You know what I mean? So and that's really has grown a lot. So the podcasting, I really, though it spawned from this original idea where I was going to make movies, that really has propelled a lot of things and let people get their voice out of different mediums and platforms.
Sure.
They don't have to like contact somebody and say, hey, can I come on your show to, well, which is what I'm kind of doing.
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying? They can kind of just get their voice, let their voice be heard, and et cetera, et cetera. So,
well, it don't hurt to hit other platforms, man.
That too. Yeah. But I guess I was just saying it doesn't restrict you, because what if a platform doesn't want you on there?
Right.
It's because they don't like the hoodie you got on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. So you can't get blocked in that way. So anyway, started that 2019. We did the rehearsals. I wrote the script out. It really didn't take too long. I have a music background, so I'm used to writing, and you know, it's just a different format. So you know because you do you got your bars.
Yeah.
So it's like, when I write this, there's certain, and I do conscious rap, so it's like I want to put a certain message in there.
Right.
So I might just put that inside of the script a little bit.
Right.
So it's kind of the same thing, but just a different format.
A message within a message.
So why did you decide to tackle this topic as your first movie?
I'm glad you did.
So I had multiple ideas. I still have multiple ideas, but this was the most feasible because I know a lot of musicians, and it takes a lot of black people for this movie, really. So we're in a predominantly white state. So it's like I rewrote this movie a few times.
For this. Actually, how did you not get your part in this, brother? I'm a little kid. Just enough. You found just enough black people.
We'll talk about that off camera. We'll get into the specifics.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Well, okay. To go back to your question, and just because I'm kind of long-winded, so let me just zoom through this. So we got through the year 2019, just rehearsals, whatever. We started filming at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. That's when the Corona stuff happened. Right. Whatever. We all went indoors. Fast forward, took some time off. You know, I'm working. Like I said before, I used to travel a lot. So now we're like at May. The George Floyd stuff happened. Now you know the content of this film. So originally it wasn't supposed to be this guy. It's not a younger gentleman playing this. It was an older man, a 60-year-old. 50s to 60s was who was written for. So it was a whole different movie, a little bit different concept. And he said he didn't want to be a part of it because the George Floyd stuff going on with the protests and everything, it just wasn't a good look. So he didn't want to do it. So I took off the next 6 months. I was kind of like, man, forget the movie, you know, whatever. And then people were like, hey, what's going on with the movie? I want to do it, whatever. Now we're in 2021. So I ended up rewriting the movie. I had some Proud Boys. I wanted some Proud Boys to be the bad guys this time. Nobody wanted to play the Proud Boys. Right. Nobody wanted to be a bad guy. So I'm like, okay, forget it. I got one white guy that I know, and he's down to do it. So I rewrote the movie just to have him in it. So we ended up finishing this in 2021. Actually, 2020. We finished filming 2021 and ended up finished the editing 2022. So long story short, to answer your question,
it was like 2-3 years.
Yeah, it took like 2 or 3 years, but this was my first one, and there was just all those little elements to it. But in all reality, I could have got this done in probably 3 months, 3 to 4 months. Okay. If I would have really had all the knowledge
together.
Yeah. So my next
movie, COVID hit. I mean, that threw a monkey everything. You know, I mean, the uncertainty of everything. So with no COVID or no pandemic and knowing what I know now, I would say 3 to 4 months.
No nuclear war.
No Ukraine, no Russians coming in unless they're being a part of the movie.
I don't know. I'm gonna watch Rocky a little different now, man. You know, when he fight, you know what I'm saying? My Russian man, I gotta watch that a little differently now. You know, I'm like, what the fuck y'all really doing over there? You know what I'm saying? It just made me think. Shout out Stallone. I'm still watching.
And just to finish your question, I had a few other movies, but for me to do it right, it would take a bigger budget. So like this one is kind of like a mixtape almost, because it's like the beginner one where it's like, it's cool, it's pretty funny, it's entertaining. You'll see people that you probably seen before that you might see around the city. You'll see like this building we're in, you'll see some stuff that you'll see, you know what I mean? That type thing. But it's nothing where it's like, I need, like my next movie, I'm gonna want like 25,000, 20,000, something like that, 15 to 25. To really make it right, and the script's a lot better, the story's a lot better. It's not as, it's more politically correct, you know, so I can kind of show it to anybody. I can be like, hey, this is my next one's a love film. So it's like, this is a love story about blah, blah, blah. It's relatable. So this one's more like a conscious mixtape.
This is the one I think that comes up, 20 years from now in some interview, like, hey, we found an old clip from, one of your first films. Can we talk about this? And that's what's circulating. That's hot on Twitter right now. Oh man, you hear about this movie you made?
I feel like these might be valuable because I might not even do any more DVDs because they weren't really selling like I thought they were gonna sell. But if my next movie goes as well as I really want it to, law of attraction, all that type of stuff, then these might be worth something. Maybe like you said, some fur coats. If the economy fails, this might be worth.
I got a ton of movies, and I watched this old school movie back in the day where a guy, his little business for all the little travelers coming through this post-apocalyptic world was he had popcorn and movies. He was trading bullets and fuel or whatever to get a little popcorn and watch the movie.
I bet you the DVD man come up out of nowhere like, I got what you need. Come through with the books.
I got multiple copies of multiple movies.
Oh, I seen that. Your DVD collection is immaculate. It's crazy.
And there is a movie like that, Equilibrium. It's not the art. They try to get rid of all the art. This might be in a vault somewhere. It might be the one last guy. You know what I mean? Like 30 years from now.
Hiding it behind the wall.
But these are $10 if anybody wants to get it.
How can they get a hold of you to get the merch, get the DVDs?
Yeah, everything is Revolutionary Feminine. So at on Facebook at Revolutionary Feminine, and on Instagram at Revolutionary Feminine. So if you're in Des Moines, you can holler at me. Like I said, the sales haven't taken off too much.
We'll put the links down in the description.
So yeah, I could probably send it to you. I was like, hey, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to send it to everybody that wants it, but now I'm like, okay, I can send it to anybody.
Right.
Because I haven't been getting orders in. So holler at me, I'll get you a copy.
Okay. I actually didn't even know you had released
online.
it yet. So.
Oh yeah,
nice.
I feel actually honored to be able to have one of these.
Absolutely,
like
for sure.
I've been knowing this brother for a while, you know, business partner, whatever you want to call it, and to be able to see this man go from, like he said, music, podcast, movie. You know what I'm saying? That's major. You know what I'm saying? For real. So. Shout out to you, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Man, I also just want to thank you too, for doing what you do. Like you said, man, it allowed to open up a space for a lot of people to just, do their own thing, try to find a voice, and
including us,
right? Including us. So that's exactly what it did. So.
Yeah. So shout out to the SquadKast for letting me come on here and promote.
Yeah.
Revolutionaryfeminine.com.
Revolutionary Feminine.
And if you don't get on this train, there's probably gonna be another one coming up.
$10, no holler.
All right. So yeah, do we know DJ has a feature role in the next movie?
Yeah,
contractually obligated.
I'm gonna be the guy to open the door.
Right.
Yes.
The one who goes, oh shit, and just runs away.
Nah, we ain't doing that. Don't do it. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, I got
the battle rap community will look crazy.
I gotta remember to include you and some other people too. It's just crazy trying to cast people, and
sure.
I didn't even do like a casting call. I was just like, hey, you want to be in this movie?
Right.
I know you don't act, but you want to do something?
Right.
But then I ended up forgetting who I contacted.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, okay.
Before we close out, quick question: have y'all seen the new Bel Air?
No, not
watch
yet,
it because
I mean,
Carlton was doing cocaine, and I'm on some conscious stuff. I don't like any type of negative.
I too find myself having a desire for some shit I grew up with to be reworked, and some of it with a dramatic take even. But Fresh Prince of Bel Air like turned it into this like weird another black struggle kind of thing going on. Like it just that's not what Fresh Prince of Bel Air was about at all. So.
I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to modernize.
I get it right.
You know what I'm
saying? Man, it's just another
like he
dark
said, bro, they
space,
made
man.
Carlton a super corn billion. You know what I'm saying? Letting these European Anglo-Saxons say the N-word. I was hot about that. Cause cause I watched a few. You know what I'm saying?
It's not modern. They're trying to like form the. Well, I mean, it's a degradation.
Well, what I'm saying is, instead of like Uncle Phil was the judge back then, Uncle Phil now is running for district attorney or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They just trying to. That's what I meant, like modern.
We know he dirty. We know he dirty.
Yeah.
And I heard the Butler for the state. Oh man.
But I heard the Butler had like some bodies or somebody. Somebody was saying something like he seems like a murderer or something.
Like why we gotta
Jeffrey, he definitely runs stuff.
That's a fun idea, I bet, but it's not healthy.
I just didn't like how they made Carlton look, man. They didn't have to have him be that. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah.
Because the image it portrays.
That's what it is. That's why people didn't want to do
that Empire shit. Used to be on
I didn't like that neither. I didn't like that neither.
Just another dark ass space with black people in it. I mean, it's not. Come on, man.
I don't watch that.
Where is the new Black
Power?
I don't watch that either.
I don't watch Power. I mean, everybody loves that stuff.
I heard the black mother on. There's like multiple black mothers on there, and they're all doing like the foulest stuff. They had like her son. She had her son kill his dad, who was like an upstanding dude. He was like trying to be in his life or something. Well, so she had him kill.
Ghost wasn't no upstanding dude, but we'll talk about that. We can talk that out off camera.
Man, ain't for me. It might not shout out to you. Like it, you like it.
Yeah. Teach his own. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't like the agendas that they be pushing in these shows, you know what I'm saying? And they're trying to force it on you, you know what I'm saying? And we talked about that a little bit before, which is crazy, feminine, you know what I'm saying? Like I get in a lot of. I ain't even gonna put it out there, but you know what I'm saying? You know where I'm going with this.
That's in the Bel Air thing? I saw the blue and the pink.
No, that's not in there. But I'm just talking about like how he brought up.
In multiple areas,
What's the name of that show? The Lion Family and all that shit that we were just talking about, Empire.
Empire.
How they just.
Oh yeah, they did have to do like this. The main dude was like, yeah, I don't know, it's weird.
That's what I'm saying, man.
They got a stripper show like that too.
So what I'm saying is, like, I don't have a problem with that shit. But I have a problem when you're just trying to force it and beat it down your throat.
Yeah, shit like that. There's just seemingly a bigger agenda there and unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
And I would say that there isn't one, because some people are always like, no, there's no agenda. But this is the thing. If there's no agenda, then why is there no opposite of that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
right. Where's the balance?
So some people did say, oh, Bel Air, the new Bel Air, they're just trying to make it like, because nowadays people would do coke. They wouldn't do, like back in the day, they did, they had an episode where he did like some pills.
Right, one episode.
One
episode. There weren't a bunch of drug doing ass people in that show.
Exactly.
Why would the new show be like that?
And back then, there were still drug dealers. There's still people getting killed. Still people getting robbed.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you put that in a show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you're trying to show something better.
And it didn't like make it like less out of touch with reality because it didn't have like that's why does it have to be? So,
that's a fact.
Right.
That's a fact.
Hey, I'm glad to see some brothers is getting some checks out there over that, but you know, all money ain't
at what cost, young brother?
Right.
Is your soul really for sale?
Right.
Do you really want to put that dress on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know I am, man.
This is with the purpose.
Yeah.
That's why I did that, but I didn't put a dress on. You know, I did it within certain confines. I left certain boundaries. You know what I'm saying? But some people, you go a little bit too far.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I always said this, like, when they want brothers to portray, it is what it is, a homosexual character, right? Why do they have to make him the most flamboyant? Like, over the top. Like, not all homosexual people act that way.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't. You know what I'm saying? And it's just disgusting how they just make these brothers who play these parts do that shit. And I just like, yo, this is not an image or something that you should be wanting to project, because with all these shows doing this crazy stuff, you got kids today in middle school talking about transgenders, and I identify with this, and I identify with that. And I'm just like,
he said the word.
Boys and girls, like, where did y'all deviate from that?
Well, I know a lot more girls that identify as bisexual now.
Yeah.
Nowadays than back in the day. So I'm not saying that.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying I don't like the agenda.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they weren't like that, but I'm just saying that it's almost like I can't tell if they were influenced that way, because that's just what I see. It's like they went from liking all the girls I knew, you know, the majority of the girls I knew growing up like boys, or from what I understood, maybe they're in the closet, but nowadays it seems like a lot of girls are more on the bisexual side, or it's on the spectrum. And then you look at rappers, a lot of them, not a lot, but there's quite a few that say they might. Isaiah Rashad, he just had a video come out with him doing some stuff, and it's like, god damn, you know. So
yeah, it's not looking good, man.
Well, I mean, each their own, but
right. I don't know that I'm necessarily concerned about
sexual orientation,
right, as much as I am about being honest about, you know, what is and isn't appropriate for, you know, age appropriate as well, you know. So some of these things on TV that we don't like, you know, you can't have influences on kids, but a lot of that shit boils back to how parents are allowing access to things they don't want their kids to see.
That's a fact. Yeah.
You know, I know parents who complain about things they see on TV while watching it with their kids. You know what I mean? Like that.
And I'm not one of them.
Right. You know, so I think that more often than not, that's usually where I think a lot of people's problems come with not taking care of how they think things should be taken care of. And they take those worries out on the world around them. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm not really worried about, per se, what's on TV, as much as I am as protecting my kid from what's on TV. You know what I'm saying?
I'm worried about what's on TV, not just in regards to this particular subject, but to a lot of stuff.
Right,
a lot of things.
Exactly, right. So I do that. So I think it's a whole picture there, not just that particular topic.
Right.
I do want to say though that they do they're trying to gradually normalize that. So just even like you see the Fresh Prince, like they didn't used to, they wouldn't have that show on TV back then.
Wow.
But then over time it becomes more acceptable. So it's almost like, okay, even if I had a kid, I don't let them watch any of that stuff at home, but you know how we get when we're at school. So a kid might come up like, hey, look at this on the phone. Oh, you don't know who Cardi B is? Look at this. You know, so it's like everybody has a cell phone nowadays. They go on Twitter. Somebody might post something that's, you know, graphic and the kid sees it. You know, so it starts to become so embedded into the culture or into just everyday life. You turn on the radio, you're hearing Cardi B talking about popping this and popping that. And it's like, you can shut it off or it might be censored, but it's still going into your, you know, your memory bank and all that. So it just becomes, I don't know. I feel like, because it used to be like BT, it used to be BT After Dark. That's when you see like, uncut. You have to watch that, you have to be up late at night to watch like the tip drill video or whatever. Now it's like, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Top 10 video of the day.
So. Or it's in your pocket. It's on Instagram.
That's a fact.
You know, I mean, what's the line of censorship though? I guess it might be the real question because.
There you go.
You know, I don't think any of us have the right or the ability to say that these things can't be out in the world. But at what point do we, like, you know, stop? How far do we let them out, or how far do we?
Well, hell, they banning these books left and right.
I mean, that shit's just crazy.
That we read when we came up, and all of now all of a sudden they banning books.
I've been
pulling movies from Disney and stuff.
I'm intending to go. I think I've been more likely to. What's the error on the side of caution? Or no, what's the opposite of that? I'm willing to risk it all for the sake of information. I guess I find, and it sucks because a lot of information is bad. A lot of information hurts. But I worry that not allowing information, saying you can't do that, will stop me from putting out information that I want to put out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I just had a little bit of a conversation, with SquadKast. We're actually about to explore it a little bit wider but seriously though, saying we're about to come out with, but right, and it actually leaves me in a very confused position because some shit I just want to set it on fire, punch it in the face, like this is bad, get it out of here. But I'll be like, oh no, this shit might turn around and do the same to me. You know, if I put that restriction on it. So
that's true.
This, you know, a topic like this and several others are always really fucking. I'm always like, oh, I'm over here, but then I'm all back over here.
It's tough.
Freedom of speech, but totally you need that.
Right, but what you know, not every country has freedom of speach.
Supposedly,
you know, I actually didn't know that until I was a young adult. And I was like, what? That's more of a democratic country thing, and not even in all cases. Like I thought that was just a thing. People, you know, we got mouths, we talk, we say shit. And you know, as I get older, you know, and I certainly want my freedom of speech, and I don't take it away, but I still be thinking like, man, that's just pretty reckless. Free speech, pretty fucking reckless policy. But yeah, I want to be able to say what I want to say. But
that'd be wild.
You hear the shit these people are saying?
Get fined for that or something.
You know, right.
In a restaurant talking, and then everybody.
Right.
You said what?
But there's some countries that you even think about uttering the misdeeds or of anybody, say anything negative about anybody in any real power. You'd be lucky if you just don't get fined or, you know, maybe a little punishment, let alone some jail time or killed or a piece of your body taken off you. You know what I'm saying?
Beat for vendetta.
Right, yeah. See? So,
yeah.
Tough conversation, Joe.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
That's what we do.
All right.
Well, gentlemen.
Brother, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Go check out the new movie. Link will be in the description.
Thanks for having me.
And yeah, this has been SquadKast TV. Catch you on the flip.
Peace.